Use your brain, you idiot. You're going to let this two-bit con man threaten you? Who do you think you're in business with? Stuart let out a sigh of relief. Pat continued. Look, no big deal. I'll take care of it. But for now, deal with it yourself. You can't let people get away so easily with threats. Yes, thank you. Stuart felt the tension leave his body. Who did this Chase person think he was? Stuart kissed his wife, grabbed his coat, and rushed toward City Grill. Stuart was still uneasy. Although he had Pat's assurance that Chase couldn't do anything to buy his shares, he was still nervous that Chase would follow through on his plan to bankrupt the companies. Could he really do it? After all, someone who could afford to purchase the Smith Restaurant Group must have some tricks up their sleeves. Back at City Grill, Tony was still taunting Chase, unable to accept the news of Chase's newfound wealth and status. 10 minutes. In 10 minutes, my father will have made more than your weekly salary. I don't have time for this anymore. I have more important things to do than bother with a loser like you. Tony considered what he'd said. Maybe he had already wasted too much time on Chase. How long had he already been standing here in the restaurant's lobby? He'd only stepped out of his office to greet the high roller who had arrived with a fleet of 100 Mercedes-Benz SUVs and treated his employees to a meal. He had never went to get waylaid by an old college rival. Tony's thoughts were interrupted by Chase saying, Don't worry. I'm sure your dad will be here soon and you can sort everything out with him. My dad? Yeah, right. Tony laughed. You really think my father is on his way here? To meet you? He can see right through your tricks. He won't waste his time on a poor liar. Chase didn't reply. He just leaned back into the wall and waited patiently. Suddenly, a car careened into the entrance of the restaurant, leaving skid marks where the driver had taken to turn too quickly. Out stepped a middle-aged man with a beer belly and thinning hair. The suit he wore, however, suggested he was a man of wealth and power. Tony froze. Dad? Why are you here? But Stuart ignored his son and marched right over to Chase. Mike was standing a few feet behind. On the way over, Stuart had decided he would play the game and showed deference to Chase. Better safe than sorry, he thought. On the off chance that Chase really could bankrupt his companies, he didn't want to risk insulting him. Mr. Rothman, he began, I am sorry for the misunderstanding over the phone. Tony just stared at his father, bent his head in respect. What was his father doing? Chase replied, Mr. Deem, as I said before, I'm not looking for your apology. All I want are your shares in the companies. Have you made your decision? Hearing this, Stuart flushed with embarrassment. Mr. Rothman, the two companies you want are the only two companies left in my possession. If you buy them, I will have nothing left. Just then, Tony regained his composure and joined his father and Mike, who were standing beside Chase. Dad, why are you still wasting your time with this loser? A loud slap rang out through the restaurant's entryway, causing the still tipsy employees to turn their heads in the direction of the sound. With full strength, he slapped his right palm against his son's left cheek. Tony was stunned. His father had never hit him before, not even a spanking when had misbehaved as a kid. He put his hands to his face in an attempt to hide the reddened skin. Stuart was furious. Know your place, boy, he shouted. He couldn't afford to insult Chase. Not now. He knew his son was probably very confused and angry, but he had no choice. He would explain this to him later, but now he needed to return his undivided attention back to Chase. Before Stuart could speak, Tony cried out, Dad, why are you taking his side? He's a loser who tried to scam you. He lied about buying the group and he's just trying to cheat you out of your shares. He does own the group, bellowed Stuart. Tony froze. It was impossible. Chase owned the Smith Restaurant Group? Meaning he controlled City Grill? Are you sure? He stammered. But his father ignored him, instead turning to Chase. Mr. Rothman, I once again must apologize for my son's behavior. I realized the two of you knew each other in college, and it seemed as if my son cannot let go of past grievances. I'm sure you can understand. Tony was bewildered. Piece of trash Chase, who couldn't even take care of his own wife, just bought the group? Then a dark thought flashed before him. Was Chase his boss? Dad, he practically cried. Dad, I promise you he's not who you think he is. He can't be. Alarmed by his son's despair, Stuart moved to embrace him. Tony, as I told you many times before, life throws us many curveballs. We can't expect to hit the ball every time. We do the best what we are given. Your mother would want me to remind you that we should also strive to treat everyone with respect. And in business, just because someone is down doesn't mean that they won't be up tomorrow. When you knew Chase, he may have been down, but now he is up, and you must accept that. But Tony could not let it go. Perhaps it was the loss of Celia all those years ago. Of losing her to Chase, of all people. He'd never be okay with it. Tony gritted through his teeth. You're just some lowly office worker. You can't compare to me. I'm the manager of the City Grill. It was obvious to all that Tony was on the verge of breaking down. Chase didn't care anymore and paid him no attention. Mr. Deem, your 10 minutes are almost up. Have you thought about my offer? Stuart's face contorted into a grimace. Mr. Rothman, please, I must ask again. Please, don't do this. Chase's face betrayed no emotion. Please, I will have my son apologize to you. Then tomorrow we'll all go out for a few drinks and dinner and laugh about this. Chase rubbed his nose and said, I'm not looking for a friendship, Mr. Deem. Just your shares. He paused and pointed at Tony. I would also like for your son to publicly resign, citing his own inability to live up to the job. If he does, I might be willing to rethink my plans to buy your shares. Both father and son were furious. Stuart knew how hard Tony had worked to get his position at City Grill. Asking him to resign would be to throw his son's life away. In all his life, he'd never been so angry. But more importantly, never before he had felt so utterly helpless.
Please subscribe to the Pocket FM YouTube channel and press the bell icon for instant notification. Check out our channel for more such exciting shows.